Hi, making a video for you today. Now this isn't the normal sound demo video that I make for my Etsy shop. This is a supplementary video to another video I made a while back, which was how to care and tune your shamanic drum. So this is a condensed version of that. It was a bit of a rambling video with lots of information in it, but this is just, you've got your natural skin shamanic drum, your drum's flat or it's too tight, and you want to know how to change that. So it's about tuning. To start with the fundamentals really of explaining what affects the shamanic drum and why does it sometimes be flat and why is it sometimes too tight. And it's all about, the key to the whole situation is moisture. It's about regulating the amount of moisture that's contained within the skin. So all of natural skin drums this is applicable to, but obviously I'm talking specifically about the drums that I make and the shamanic frame drum. So all natural skin drums is basically just the skin. It's not been chemically treated, it's not had anything extraordinary done to it. It is just the skin as it came from the animal, but obviously it's been cleaned and prepared, etc. And it's just been allowed to dry out, and all the moisture has been allowed to leave the skin, which makes it go so hard. So the drier the skin is, the harder it will become. And what we want for a shamanic drum is we want it to be hard. We want it to be able to resonate backwards and forwards as it's stretched across the frame. Now, if the drum absorbs moisture from the atmosphere through humidity or from rain or mist, what happens is the skin draws in the moisture, and as it does so, it starts to go more supple. It starts to soften. And as it softens, it loses that ability to be able to spring backwards and forwards. So it ends up sounding like a cardboard box, slap, without any resonance. On the other side of the scale, if the drum becomes too dry, i.e. too hot, if it's been left in the back of a car, or it's been in your tent, or wherever, it's been over a heater in front of a fire for too long, all the moisture will go. It'll get drier and drier and tighter, and that is the dangerous thing for your drum, is for your drum to become too tight. When it becomes too tight, it gets so tight that it can no longer move. So when you strike the drum, instead of resonating lovely long note, what you will find is that it will just go dum, flat. There'll be no resonance afterwards because it's so tight it can't continue to move. So that's the principle of why we have to tune our shamanic drum. The how is, if it's too dry, we add moisture, and if it's too loose, we heat the drum to allow the moisture to evaporate. It's as simple as that, really. There are just some things to note. So with damping your drum, what will happen is it takes time. It might take 5, 10, 15 minutes for the skin to absorb that moisture and then to relax and allow you to play. On the other side of the coin, if it's too loose and you have to warm your drum to evaporate that moisture away, that can take time as well. It could be anything from 2 or 3 minutes to 10 to 15 minutes in front of a heat source. You might wonder why we're in the kitchen, actually, because I make all my videos outside. And that's because I wanted to demonstrate what I do personally. And I consider myself just the average Joe, and I play my drum quite a lot at home. And what the heat source that I like to use is the cooker. It's efficient, it's quick, it's easy, and it's not, it's no hassle. Nearly everybody's got a cooker. Just come in, switch it on, and you're away. This particular cooker is a bit slow. It takes a while for the rings to heat. But if you've got gas, that's better. It's instant. And a lot of new cookers these days, they are instant electric heats as well. So that's why I'm stood in front of the cooker. So what I'm going to do is I've got my drum here, and this is probably tuned okay. I'll give it a little play. Oh, we've got vibrations happening here. I didn't test this out before I played. Don't very often play in here. No. I'll pause the video, I'll sort that out, and we'll come back. Okay, so we're back again. This is one of the problems of playing indoors, actually. I don't know if you've experienced this, but yeah, the sound waves that the drum creates, it's such a frequency that it tends to want to rattle and vibrate anything in the vicinity. Ornaments. In this case, it was a wooden panel in the kitchen door, in the unit on the kitchen door there, which had a very, very tiny gap, and it was vibrating when I played. So I'm going to play the drum just very briefly. You can see it's tuning. Okay. It's still vibrating something, but that's okay. We can't help that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how I'm going to pretend that's too tight. I'm going to simulate, if you like, what it'd be like in a very humid, damp conditions by wetting the drum. Now, if you're out and about in the summertime, when this is more likely to happen, when it's really hot, chances are, hopefully, you'll have your water to drink. Keep hydrated. So you get some of this water and you will just pour it onto your drum head. As such, and then spread it around on there. Just let it soak in. Water isn't damaging to a drum at all. If it was prolonged exposure in a damp environment, then yes, obviously your drum would probably go moldy and horrible. But yeah, so that's given it a nice all-round little coating now. Now, I might put this on a little fast forward for you, say for 5 minutes or so, and we'll come back in 5 minutes and we'll see what the tone of the drum's like in 5 minutes. You see it's already starting to drop. Okay, might just put a tad more on there. Here we go. I'm going to leave that just on there. See you in 5 minutes. Okay, so she's been soaking for a little while now. Nearly all the moisture is gone, and you can tell straight away. Let's have a play. I wouldn't recommend playing drums when they're too loose or damp, because it can stretch the skin, but just for the purposes of demonstration of the tone, I'm going to play very gently. You see. So you can see that's a lot too loose. It's sounding like I'm slapping the side of a cardboard box almost. So what we're going to use is heat now from the cooker ring here to be able to get rid of some of that moisture, and we're going to bring it up. So I'm just going to gently hold the drum over the heat. Good idea of what you can do is place your hand between the heat source and the drum, just to make sure that it isn't too hot and it's going to actually burn your drum. The other thing is you can move your drum around over the heat so you don't get any hot spots. It's a general warming. I wouldn't recommend that you suspend it and leave it or anything like that. I should always recommend that you stay present with your drum while you're warming it, whether it's by a fire or on the cooker here or whatever. One characteristic of tuning, which is very interesting, is when you've got a drum with moisture in it and it's too loose, as we just have. What tends to happen is, I don't know if you can see that, but we've got steam coming up. Touch this, it's warm, but it's not too hot, but we've still got this steam coming off the drum. But what tends to happen is a tone actually dips a bit deeper before it starts to get higher. And I can only put that down to the fact that the moisture is being activated to turn from that state of wet water into steam to allow it to evaporate away, which actually makes the skin a little bit looser. But then, as it starts to go, I'd love to be able for you to be able to see that steam coming off there. I don't know if you can. So it's not a lot there, but it's coming up very gradually. Okay. I might fast forward most of this. A bit boring watching me do that. Starting to come up. So the drum head is still very warm, obviously, so it's going to continue its journey to a higher tone for the next few minutes. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it's helped you have a more of an understanding on the process of how you tune your drum, why you tune your drum, the dangers and possible pitfalls. So yeah, don't worry if your drum is loose and floppy and sounds like a cardboard box, because it will come back again. You just have to put that little bit of time and effort into maintaining and tuning. And always keep an eye on your drum in the hot weather, and have some water to hand. Make sure that you keep it at a reasonable tension, not too tight. Hope you enjoyed, hope it's helped, and Crow, thanks for watching. Bye for now.